2 days later, Naomi sat in class, pretending to listen. She had carried her desk and chair all the way to another corner of the room, far away from Aiden Balogun. She didn't want to see him, didn't want to smell his cologne, didn't even want to hear his voice. After his public proclamation the week before, declaring she meant nothing to him before the whole school, she told herself she didn't care. But deep down, it stung. Why did it hurt? Why did she feel betrayed by someone she never even trusted? Wasn't she here to make him pay for what he did to Shidrak? Naomi sighed, trying to focus on the maths teacher's voice. But just then, the school's public address system came alive with a loud crackle. Naomi Alade, come into my office now! Every head turned, every whisper grew, every eye was on her. Naomi's stomach dropped. The teacher cleared his throat, trying not to look nervous. You heard the principal, Naomi. Go on. She stood, adjusting her uniform, her heart pounding. It wasn't the first time she'd been called out, but this felt different. As she walked down the long, echoing corridor, the walls seemed to close in. What now? She wondered. Was it a letter? Had the ministry reached out already? She knocked lightly. Come in. Naomi stepped into the office. The principal's eyes met hers, cold, burning with restrained rage. Good day, sir. The words had barely left her mouth when he exploded. How dare you? Naomi froze. You filthy thing! Who do you think you are? Turning this school upside down? You should be grateful that the doors of Marathon High even opened to you. He slammed his fist on the desk, the sound making her flinch. You had the audacity to write to the Ministry of Education? Naomi exhaled slowly. So that was it. Yes, sir, I did. The principal's eyes bulged. You insulted my authority. You didn't even consult me. You ran straight to the ministry like some crusader. Who gave you such boldness? Naomi held his gaze. Sir, I came to you before. I told you about the bullying, about the scholarship students being treated like slaves. You shrugged it off. Someone had to act. His jaw tightened, veins standing out on his forehead. I should have expelled you the day you stepped into this school. Naomi's tone stayed calm. Then why did you call me here, sir? He glared at her. You mentioned names in your letter, including Aiden Balogun. Do you even realize what you've done? I mentioned every student who's part of the system, sir. Aiden included. His chair screeched back. You have unleashed a tiger, Naomi Alade, and you won't come out unscathed. Naomi's voice was quiet but unwavering. I don't mind, sir. As long as everyone is treated equally. He snatched up a paper, crushing it in his hand. His breathing was heavy. Then he reached for the microphone on his desk. With his eyes still on her, he spoke into it. All students are expected to assemble at the assembly ground by 1 p.m. today. Representatives from the Ministry of Education will be present for inspection. He dropped the microphone with a thud, as if it burned. May I go now, sir? He ignored her. She nodded politely. Thank you, sir. As she stepped out and closed the door behind her, the principal held a pen holder at the wall. The sound echoed across the corridor. Later that afternoon, word spread fast. Aiden listened quietly as his classmates gossiped. Naomi had written to the ministry. The school was under investigation, and everyone blamed her. Marathon High was his world. He'd grown up in its classrooms, its walls, its legacy. Now it was on the brink of chaos, all because of one girl. Kesiana took a seat across from him, crossing her legs. You see, she'll never be one of us. Aiden didn't respond. He just stared out the window, jaw tight. But Kesiana wasn't done. She's beneath you, Aiden. Your father would never allow it. He'd destroy her before he lets his son get tainted. Aiden slammed his fist on the decks, startling everyone. Don't you dare mention my family again. Do I make myself clear? He grabbed his bag and stormed out of the class. Kesiana sat there, stern, her face tightening with resolve. If Aiden wouldn't listen, she'd make sure Naomi was erased from his life for good. That evening, when Aiden returned home, his father summoned him. The mansion's marble floor gleamed under the chandeliers. Aiden sat, expression blank, as his father lectured him. He wasn't really listening. All he heard was noise, the same rehearsed speech about family, legacy, and image. Then, a staff member entered and announced, Miss Kesiana is here, sir. His father's face lit up. Send her in. Aiden's stomach turned. Kesiana glided in, wearing a gold dress heavy with jewelry. Her perfume hit like a storm. Aiden tried not to roll his eyes. Oh, Kesiana, my dear, your father raised such a fine daughter. Thank you, Uncle. I only came here because I heard you were upset with Aiden. You heard, right? His name is on the ministry list. A scandal involving this school. My son, my heir. I've warned him to maintain decorum. We are Balogons, not street riffraff. Uncle, don't be angry. It's not his fault. The real problem is Naomi. Aiden's eyes shut up. Naomi? Who's that? A scholarship girl? Poor, loud, always fighting for some imaginary cause. She's the one who dragged the school and your son's name through the mud. Aiden's hands curled into fists. Kesiana, stop. She ignored him. She's just trying to climb. She wants the Balogun name. She's after your family, uncle. A scholarship girl? Yes. The school should have expelled her before she taints the school's reputation further. Aiden stood abruptly. Don't be ridiculous, Kessiana. Leave her out of this. She smiled faintly, victorious, because the more he defended Naomi, the more she knew she had struck a nerve. As Kessiana spoke, Balogun's eyes narrowed, his expression darkening with every word. Aiden froze. He knew that look. It was the look his father wore whenever rage began to boil beneath the surface. A rage that burned colder than fire. When Balogun was angry, the world around him trembled. What is her name? Kessiana's lips curved in satisfaction. Naomi, she said smoothly. His father's voice grew louder. Her full name. Kessiana didn't hesitate. Naomi Alade. Aiden's pulse spiked. Kessiana, don't. He turned to his father, desperate. Dad, it's not what you think. She didn't write any names. The list had several students. But his father wasn't listening. Balogun's gaze turned sharp as glass. No one challenged his legacy. No one touched the Balogun name and walked away unscarred. He stood abruptly. His voice was cold, commanding. Find me this Naomi Alade. I want everything. Where she lives, who she talks to, what she eats, how she breathes, everything. The bodyguard straightened instantly. Yes, sir. They rushed out to obey. Kessiana smiled, triumphant, but Aiden's heart pounded in his chest. He could already see the danger unfolding, and it terrified him. He stormed out of the foyer, anger and fear mixing in his veins. At Naomi's house, the world felt still. She sat beside her grandmother's bed, watching her frail chest rise and fall with labored breaths. Tears streamed down Naomi's cheeks. Mama was all she had. Her only family, her only reason. And now, pneumonia was stealing her away. The community clinic had suggested taking Mama to the general hospital. But the bills were too high. Naomi had gone from shop to shop, pleading with Mama's groundnut customers to pay what they owed. But all she got were excuses. Ha! I never finished selling the groundnut though. Nobody's buying these days. Business is slow. Each rejection chipped her away at her hope. The neighbors dropped by with food and other items, but she needed money to take Mama to the hospital, and no one had any. By evening, Naomi sat beside Mama's bed again, holding her hand, praying under her breath. Then, the door creaked open. It was Shidrak. Why didn't you tell me Mama was sick? Naomi looked up, startled. He stood there, hurt and breathless. It's my cross to bear, Shidrak. She's my grandmother too. She baited me when I was a child. You should have told me. Naomi didn't answer. She was too tired to argue. She stood to leave. Where are you going? To find money for the hospital. Stay with her till I return. Before he could say another word, she was gone. An hour passed. Shadrach dozed off in the chair beside Mama's bed when the sound of footsteps startled him. He blinked, rubbed his eyes, then froze. Standing at the doorway in his immaculate suit and polished shoes was Aiden Balogun. What are you doing here? Aiden didn't answer. He took in the cracked walls, the dim lantern light, the frail old woman on the bed. Finally, his voice came, calm but clipped. Where's Naomi? Shadrach bristled. What do you want from her? Why are you here? Mama groaned softly in her sleep. Aiden turned toward her. Concern flickered in his eyes. Real concern. Shadrach leaned toward Mama. Mama, it's me, Shadrach. Naomi went to get money for the hospital. Mama sighed and drifted back into shallow sleep. Shadrach turned again, glaring. Naomi's not here. Get on your high horse and leave the way you came. Aiden's expression hardened. I'm not here for you, and you don't have the right to walk me out. I can do whatever I please. This is my house too. Naomi is my girlfriend. The words hung in the air like a slap. Aiden froze. Naomi had a boyfriend. Something twisted in his chest. Something sharp and unfamiliar. Then he heard Naomi's voice from the doorway. Aiden? Aiden spun around. Naomi stood in the doorway, eyes wide with disbelief. What are you doing here? He opened his mouth, but words failed. How could he explain that he'd come because he couldn't stop thinking about her? That he'd secretly warned his father's men to stay away from her? Before he could find his words, Shadrach stepped forward, possessive, placing a hand on Naomi's shoulder. That's exactly what I was asking him. Aiden's eyes dropped to Shadrach's hand on Naomi's shoulder. His jaw tightened. Is your grandma ill? Naomi nodded, her voice trembling. She's very sick. I've tried everything, but I can't raise the money. Without another word, Aiden took out his phone and dialed. Come quick. Within minutes, 3 bodyguards entered the tiny room. Naomi and Shadrach stared speechless. Get her grandmother into the car. We are taking her to my family hospital. Now! The guards moved fast, lifting Mama gently as if she were made of glass. Naomi's breath hitched. Tears swelled up. She followed them out, her voice breaking. Thank you. Thank you so much. Aiden said nothing. He just walked beside her, his expression unreadable. Moments later, the convoy of sleek cars rolled down the dusty road. Inside one car, Shadrach sat fuming. Naomi in Aiden's car while he was stuck with a stranger. He leaned toward the driver. "Stop this car! I need to join Aiden's car." The bodyguard turned slowly, his glare cold as steel. Shadrach swallowed hard and shrank back into his seat. Inside Aiden's car, silence filled the space. Naomi sat by the window, lost in thought. Then Aiden spoke softly. "Your mind's far away." She turned to him and smiled faintly. "Thank you again for helping us." He nodded. "I'm glad I could." She hesitated. "Can you please ask the doctors to give me some time? I'll pay in installments. I just need to find work." Aiden's voice was steady. "You don't have to pay. I'll take care of it." Naomi's eyes widened. "What? No, I can't let you," he interrupted gently. "It's fine. You can pay me back later. And you don't have to find work. I'll employ you." Her breath caught. "You'll employ me?" He smiled faintly, reading her thoughts. "That master and slave system, it's gone. Your letter ended it. Every student is equal now." Naomi let out a shaky sigh of relief. For the first time in a long while, she felt peace. "You're one tough nut, you know." Aiden's voice broke the silence as they stood outside the hospital, moments later. "I've never met anyone, male or female, with your kind of strength. Your type will make it big with the right support." Naomi smiled faintly. "Thank you," she said softly. Aiden found himself staring longer than he should. That smile, simple, genuine, pure, tugged at something deep inside him. It made him feel human. Hours later, after Mama had been admitted and settled into the nicest ward Naomi had ever seen, and after the kindest doctor she'd ever met assured her that Mama would be fine, Naomi and Aiden walked out through the glass doors of the hospital. She turned to him, her voice warm and sincere. "Thank you, Aiden. Thank you again. I really appreciate this. And I'll pay you back, that's a promise." He nodded quietly. Then she hesitated. You mentioned earlier that I have to work for you. I never got to ask, what's the job about?" Aiden's lips curled in a small, unreadable smile. "Be my friend." Naomi blinked. "What?" "I said, be my friend. I'll pay you for it." She stood there, stunned. The Aiden Balogun, heir to billions, wanted her, Naomi Alade, to be his friend? Huh? She whispered, confused. He met her gaze, tone calm but serious. "I don't have any friends, not real ones. I'd like you to be mine." Naomi's eyes softened. "No," she said gently. Aiden's expression faltered. No? He echoed, almost hurt. I didn't mean no, I won't be your friend, she said quickly. I meant you don't have to pay for friendship, Aiden. Friendship is a connection between people who truly like each other. Aiden's shoulders eased. For the first time in a long while, he breathed without walls around his heart. Like you and... He paused, pretending to think. What's his name again? Shadrach? Naomi nodded with a wide smile. Yes, Shadrach and I have been friends since birth. Our mothers were best friends. We just grew up together. Aiden smiled faintly, but something in his chest twisted. Right, he murmured. I see. Naomi looked at him kindly. I'll be your friend, Aiden. But you won't pay me for it. Friendship isn't something you buy. Find another job I can do for you, and I'll accept. But friendship? No. There's no price tag for that. Aiden's lips curved into a genuine smile, the kind that reached his eyes. He turned to go, then stopped mid-step and faced her again. I'll take my shirt and blazer back, he said teasingly. But as for the dress, keep it. That's what friends do for each other, right? Naomi laughed, her heart fluttering. She had tried to return the clothes and the dress he'd given her, but he refused. And now, hearing those words, that's what friends do. Something inside her melted. She waved as he entered his car, watching until the black sedan disappeared into the night. Warmth spread through her, from her chest, down her arms, all the way to her fingertips. She didn't need to ask what it meant. She knew. She liked him. Moments later, a familiar voice pierced her thoughts. Rich fool! Naomi spun around, startled. Shadrach? What did you just say? He glared toward the direction Aiden's car had taken. I said, rich fool. Naomi frowned. How could you insult him like that? Shadrach, that's not nice. Shadrach's eyes burned. So what now? He suddenly helps with Mama, and you forget why you went to Marudan High? Let me refresh your memory, Naomi. You are in that school because of me. She flinched. He wasn't done. And in case you develop amnesia, let me remind you, the enemy here is Aiden Balogun. Naomi's voice cracked. Why are you talking like this, Shadrach? What's really going on? You've been acting strange lately. He wanted to tell her the truth, that he was scared of losing her, that he couldn't stand seeing her smile at someone else. But his pride wouldn't let him. Instead, he said something cruel. You don't rate me, Naomi. You only think of yourself. Getting into that school was your way of proving you are better than I am. He turned and walked away, his footsteps heavy. Naomi reached out, desperate. Shadrach, wait! But he didn't turn back. She stood there, watching him fade into the distance. The boy who'd once been her everything. Her heart cracked under the weight of it all. Because deep down, he was right. She had entered Marrowdown High to avenge him. But now, she was starting to care for the person she'd sworn to destroy. Watch out for part 5 of this thrilling series, Must Date the Billionaire's Son. An unforgettable story of love, power, pride, and the girl who dared to challenge it all. Please support this page by subscribing and liking the videos. God bless you.